he hasn't lost yet in the tournament, and he's feeling pretty good overall and really confident in his play. He practiced a ton for this event. Every time I was messaging him, he was telling me, "Hey man, I'm practicing right now. What do you need? I'm kind of busy."
Yeah, and
And
he's got a chance.
I'm expecting him to do really great here in the event
And
or
he's
the
gotten a
finals.
chance. He played first today too, so he's gotten a chance to sit back, watch a lot of Tides games today. Like the last two series with Tides. So I think that might give him a little bit
Wait,
of. What's
wait a
going on here?
second.
What's going on here?
Are we seeing a mage
Oh, I
mirror
think
to
we've got a
start things
mage here.
off?
So it looks like Tides is playing a mage. Wow, I was expecting
Is
maybe
is it
RDU,
a
but
mage?
Tides.
Is it a mage
Is it
mirror?
mage versus mage?
It's a mage
Oh
versus
my
mage.
gosh!
And
Oh
we were talking
wow!
about one
Oh
extra class
yeah!
for the finals, and they're just gonna. Oh
Oh
no,
wait,
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 it
no, no,
was.
no! It's
Whoa,
not
whoa,
mage
whoa!
versus
I
mage.
got
No,
faked
no, no!
out
It's
so
miracle.
hard.
Yeah, we
Okay.
had.
Oh man,
Okay,
I
so
got
it's
excited for a
rogue.
second.
Okay, so it's mage versus rogue. Okay, okay.
I was like, he's gonna fireball, and then he's gonna
I
fireball, and then
know,
he's gonna frostball, and
insanity.
it's gonna be crazy. It's
It's
you know
just
what?
who ice blocks last, man. That's how it
All
goes.
that built up tension.
Okay,
All
so let's
right.
take a look at what we got here. So we got Tides playing the mage, and Tides. Let's see if it's the giant version of the mage or not. That's really the one thing that we need to see regarding the flavor. But RDU starting off, he's starting out pretty decent here. He's got the poison. It's going to help remove with some of these small minions
Mhm.
that the mage kind of throws out there to recycle cards or even just to do a tiny bit of damage.
How do you feel about this matchup, Chan man, in general, from either
Uh,
perspective?
well, I think I mean in my experience, I think with the Giants, I kind of like I kind of like the mage. I don't think it's actually huge going one way or the other. But for me, the freeze mage with the vaporize is pretty nice too. If you time it with the Leroy, so this mage does do decently against the rogue. I don't think it's heavy in either way. What about you?
Yeah, the vaporize, you just kill Leroy. It takes one other ways to just finish the game. They have to pop the ice blocks other ways with
Yeah,
Blade Flurry, Eviscerate, Sinister Strike, that kind of things. It kind of depends again on how Tides is building out his deck. I don't see any signs of Giants, so it
yeah,
could be just a straight up freeze mage, which, in my opinion, I like that version a little bit better because it's more consistent with what you want to do. The Giants sometimes come at awkward turns, and you saw in Trump's series in the past that he wasn't able to get the Giants out in a timely fashion and just kind of got ran over with no
yeah.
freeze to stall.
And you're
So I
okay.
like it. I like what Tides is doing with this, and I like that he started off with it too.
Yeah, and no telling, he could still have four giants in there, and we don't even know. And like you said, that's going to be really bad for him. What you give up for those giants are more stalling capabilities, whether it's like mirror image or maybe even a blizzard. Some people give a blizzard, some people give up just whatever it is. It's usually one of the stalling mechanisms.
Right.
All right, so there's Van Cleef, and we have the Doomsayer in Tides design. How do you think Doomsayer? What do you think the success of Doomsayer is against the Rogue?
I think Doomsayer more as gain 7 life in the
Okay.
best case scenario. It's very rare for me to feel like it's gonna work, but at the same time, sometimes it can, and you can even use Doomsayer preemptively. Like say you have Alex Straza on turn 9 and you have the
Yeah.
guaranteed 15 damage. What you do is on turn 8 you drop a Doomsayer, even if it's an empty board. There's nothing threatening you, and I think it's more than okay to do that.
Well, Doomsayer is one of the only cards in the game that gives you tempo, right? I mean, if it's not silence, you have the next turn to initiate tempo, and that's usually the best thing, especially with this freeze mage when he wants
Sure.
to ice block, when he wants to draw cards. So
Whoa.
okay, there we go.
Look
So
at this. RDU's taken
wow.
8 damage, I believe, from or six to 8 damage from this loot hoarder, and he says
Hmm.
enough's enough. I'm not going to take any more damage. Rather than going for what a traditional turn would be, Gadget Stand Conceal, and
Yeah.
especially you can get it in before the Flame Strike. That's usually really good. But now he's kind of spent his turn instead trying to address this loot hoarder. And Tides also does have the Flame Strike, which is really nice too.
Yeah. And this is where the decision making comes in for the freeze mage. It's like when do I ice block? When do I try to fit in that 3 mana to do I try to time it last minute to do it? Do I try to get in early? And he's been saving it for a while. He's going to try to pull off the Doomsayer move here. Hopefully he can remove all these guys. That's what he's hoping. But
Yeah.
RDU has the sap there, so he
If
definitely has an answer to it.
But he's gonna get flame struck right
That's right.
back.
That's
And
right.
you know what? This Doomsayer says, I don't even need to. I did what my job is to stall for a turn without taking damage. Tides is more than happy. Yes, sir. Please let me flame strike. And he is so eager. He had to queue up as soon as he saw that gadget stand.
Okay, he's gonna clear the board there, clearing the only gadgets in that RDU has right now. And RDU hasn't done any damage yet, so he's gonna go ahead and shiv him, draw him the card there. Okay, so we got an SI agent. He can get some pressure back on the board here.
And Tides with that Pyro Blast
Hmm.
means that if he just, over the course of 2 turns, he has 22 damage right there, and if he just pings him once without him being able to heal,
Oh, there's
then the game is his. So he needs to kind of find a way where he can space everything out, make sure to drop the ice block if he feels like he needs to, because his opponent does hold a lot of cards, and from that, be able to end the game.
And this is going to be kind of a cool turn, potential turn here from Tides. He's got Antonidas, he's got the coin, so he can actually get to 10 mana, and maybe he ice blocks there. So he could be getting 2 additional fireballs here. But a lot of times the fireballs, you just don't have enough mana to spend them all. Sometimes you get like 6 fireballs, and you're just like, oh, how do I get that much mana to actually unleash on my opponent? But he's going to go ahead and stall
Sure.
instead,
Sure.
and go with the Doomsayer again.
The big picture is that he doesn't have to rush it. Again, minimize the damage as possible rather than potentially get in a situation where he has to race his opponent.
Yeah.
Try to stall and give yourself a free board to do all these kinds of things. Getting up the ice block is still really important though because his opponent will be on 10 mana, and assuming all of his opponents has
This is the
cards with
turn.
damage, yeah, he would
There we go. This is
straight
the
up
turn to
die.
do it. Yeah, he's got tempo, and that's what the Doomsayer is so great. It gives you this free turn to do whatever you need to do. Draw cards, ice block. And then
Yeah,
this is amazing because you actually
actually,
get 2 fireballs and get a minion on the board. So
doesn't even matter
cool.
what it doesn't even matter what he like say for example he burns or something like that and he mills
Yeah,
him. It actually doesn't really matter. He has all the cards he needs in his hand. He has a second ice
yeah,
block, he has damage, and that's the most
yep.
important thing.
He has it all right now. Oh,
RDU, let's see what
is
he
I mean you get.
draws.
I mean, is it even? That's the thing about the freeze mage is sometimes you can just see the game played out in 3 turns, and like there's nothing that your opponent can do. And I'm not quite sure we're at that point, given that you can't double fireball and ice block in a single turn. And a lot of times with just the straight freeze mage, you have to combo damage with ice block plays.
He needs to pop ice block as soon as he can. That's the
Yeah.
biggest priority because then it forces freeze mage to use up the mana or at least to have the second ice block and you can threaten lethal. The problem is,
I mean,
let's see. He has enough right now. He has 4 plus or he has a yeah the 4 plus 8 plus the 12, so that's 20. So
just
he
has
can pop it this
yeah. You
turn,
can pop it this turn. You're right.
but he will be committing his Leroy immediately to it.
Oh wow.
And
Okay,
you
so
know
let's
what?
see
He's
what
gonna go
tides.
for it. But this is what
Yeah.
he needs to do,
Can't blame
unfortunately.
him. Yeah, you can't blame him. That's all he's got. I mean, he doesn't have any potential draws in his hand, so he's
Hmm.
gonna go for it now. Hopefully, he can get him down to. Is he gonna get him down to one?
Well, he's gonna get
Actually,
down to one, but
keep him at 5 is actually kind of tough too. You want to be able to like
yeah,
just dagger him
still
and kill
power
him.
it down.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
unfortunately, I think Tides realizes he can't lose this game, barring some unforeseen disaster where he doesn't play Ice Block this turn, or if he can even kill this turn, can he? Let's see.
uh,
23.
I don't. Let's see, 9, 14. Can you do 14 here? Oh yeah. Well, he just played something right. He can do 14.
Yeah, actually, he does have with the Frostbolt.
Yeah, exactly. Frostbolt and
Yeah,
the double fireballs, and then he
just,
gets
yep, there it
3
is.
more fireballs in return. The never-ending fireball sequence.
You can get a lot of karma on Reddit for that, that's for
That's
sure.
that's true. That's true. All right, Tides takes the first game with the Freeze Mage, not the giant one, the straight up Freeze Mage, and beats out RDU's Miracle Rogue. Takes a 1-0 lead in a best of 7 series. This is the grand finals of the Well Played Cup.
He
Tides.
took out the Miracle Rogue. Like, I can't begin to describe how important that is relative to his other decks. With the
Mhm.
Druid, the Shaman, and the Warrior, which in the current meta and how slow those decks sometimes can feel if you don't get like your innervates or if you're a shaman you just kind of get stalled out early with like really bad draws. The Miracle Rogue can just stomp that really easily, and the fact that it's gone from RDU's arsenal is a big factor coming into the rest of the series. RDU had to rely on his Druid deck, but so far for a long time in tournaments, RDU also performed really well with Miracle Rogue. And now that it's gone, Chan Man, we're gonna have to
Mhm.
see whether or not RDU has the chops to bring it back with other things.
So out of all the other, out of all the other decks that RDU has, what do you think is the counter for this Freeze Mage?
I think the best option is a Druid, just because if you just heal outside of the range,
Hmm.
then
Yeah.
normally on paper, if you heal out of the range after the Alexstrasza, they can't burn you. But when you see something like Antonidas, all of a sudden he is this weird X factor where technically mage might not run out of damage. So
That's right.
you
That's why
you
they.
might have to kind of play it really cautious. But I would have to imagine Druid. It has the flexibility of bursting ice block early. It has the heals. It has a good percentage overall against freeze mage.
Okay. I kind of like the warrior too. If
Yeah, actually, that's true.
Yeah, the warriors got that life gain too. It can just it can just create enough armor. The Antonidas, you're right, does give it some more range that the freeze mage without the Antonidas didn't have. But in general, I think warrior just is able to just draw out the games too, which is kind of nice.
Yeah, there's a certain point where if you just armor up enough,
Hmm.
mage can't do anything either.
Yeah,
Assuming you kill the
right.
Antonidas and maybe they get like one fireball, you're able to live. If you armor up to what, like 50, 55 worth of health, they actually just
Yeah.
don't have enough burn. They hit the 40s and
Yeah, it's
then
in that
they have
range.
to
It's definitely
king
in
you
the
to
50
death.
60 range. Yeah, I remember I tried to add it up one day, and it was yeah, it's around that 55 60 range. That if you can just get that total amount just throughout the game, then the mage
Mhm.
just cannot kill you unless those minions live on the board for multiple turns.
All right.
Okay, so it looks like he's going to go with the druid. I thought I saw a power of the wild there. Oh, there we go. Okay,
Okay.
so he's going with druid.
Okay, so Druid is a great response, obviously, just because, again, if you can stack up the damage, you can also put Power of the Wild to like put things out of like Blizzard range, even Flame Strike range. The Ancient of Lore is so crucial to hold on to for heals. RDU is thinking about keeping on to this, holding on to this BGH because Alex Straza might inevitably come out, in which case he needs ability to respond to it with Ancient of Lore BGH immediately. So
Hmm.
I think it's a smart keep here on his half.
All right, nice getting that Argent Squire on turn one. Put some pressure on Tides here. Tides does have, oh, there is the Vaporize that we were talking about before.
Ooh, okay, okay. That's an interesting addition.
Hmm.
We do again. It's so funny that he's doing that when RDU was the one playing Vaporize Freeze Mage at
Yep.
DreamHack.
That's true. Okay, Tides has, the turn three card drawing cards, which is pretty much what you want. So he's going to go with the Acolyte first. Hopefully draw more than one card here. Actually, hopefully draw one card here, given that Keep the Grove is a potential play here with a coin, but he doesn't have it. Thankfully for Tides.
Yes, and with what Tides of Time has. Oh wow, Savage
Wow,
Roar.
Savage Roar. Okay.
Okay.
Really wanting to limit that card draw for the mage.
Sure, but I guess he just didn't want to use Wrath instead, and it fills
Yeah,
out
that's
the
an
mana
interesting.
curve a little bit better. Interesting.
Yeah, that's an
Interesting.
interesting decision.
Now, RDU does play this deck a lot, so he knows what it's capable of. So perhaps he has has a different line that he wants to kind of follow. But I'm really curious about that
Yeah,
because if you find a way to kind of use Savage Roar early to burst, especially now he has Force of Nature. If he has to find a way to use it early to pop Ice Block, the game could end really quick
yeah,
before the mage wants to do anything.
that's true. All right, looks like he's thinking about using this turn to vaporize. He could actually draw again.
Well,
Let's see.
yeah, I
Yeah,
think
he's
the
there.
Arcane
He goes.
Intellect's really nice.
Yeah, there
Yeah.
you go.
Ooh.
Got to take the opportunity to draw when there's no
Yeah.
threats on the board. I like the Doomsayer. It's going to give him tempo again for the next turn, so he can equip Vaporize as he wants, or again throw down a Loot Hoarder. You
Sure.
don't
Sure.
need the freeze all the time.
Right, and the Doomsayer often doesn't get to go off against Druid anyways, because of the
Yeah.
just like I said, the Keeper of the Grove. So why not just use it to stall again? Your objectives have not changed. You just want to continue drawing. You want to continue stalling, to reduce as much damage as possible. Now on turn 5, usually they play something like Druid of the Claw.
Yeah, gets the Azure Drake down really strong, and yeah, RDU is just really hasn't been able to get on the board, and still waiting. Got two Power of the Wilds now with that Violet Teacher. It could fill the board instantly, but Tides has answers with Blizzard. It's got Flame Strikes, so these tokens are not going to be able to really affect Tides too much here.
Yeah. Don't forget that armoring up is actually really important too in this
Yeah, that's
matchup
true.
because Alex Strasza doesn't burn through the armor, and therefore pecking away at that armor throughout the turns is also kind of important. And sometimes mages feel like they have to use a spell earlier because there's like 5 armor stacked up through the passivity
Hmm.
that they have to go through. Otherwise, the Alexstrasza puts them at 19, 20 health instead of 15.
Yeah. But you do bring up a good point with Alexstrasza. Tides against the Druid almost has to wait for the Alexstrasza draw. It's just to do that 15 damage. Otherwise, it's really dicey whether you have enough damage to work down the Druid with the Ancient Allures. So he's going to be He's waiting patiently, trying to dig. Still hasn't hit it yet. Here we go. Here come those Power of the Wilds. At least one of them.
Yeah, but Tides does have the freeze. That's one thing that
Yeah.
Trump didn't have, and the fact that he can kind of keep taking his time and keep digging through his deck, dealing with the board pretty easily, setting up for easy flame strikes and blizzards the following turn while whittling down the armor. He's getting everything he wants.
It's true.
RDU still needs to find an alternative to burst him down. Again, he's usually being able to get closer to potentially comboing him, and 22 health isn't exactly the safest feeling. But at the same time, he needs a little bit more than what he has now.
All right. So I guess the question is whether you. Okay, he's going to go with another Power of the Wild, and it looks like another flame striking turn here. And this will.
Ooh,
Oh, there's the Alexstrasza I was talking about.
Alexstrasza.
So he's going to really line this up. He's coming on a turn that could be really nice for the Antonius too to give him even more fireballs if he wants. But he might not even need it, quite honestly. This looks like a flame striking turn. He can actually ping the Violet Teacher, but that'll get some. That'll cause the Vaporize not to kill anything too big either.
The Vaporize isn't active though. It's
Oh,
actually a
it's
nice block, I
oh, it's
believe.
nice block. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the Vaporize is on the left there. Yeah.
Now, let's see. Tides has a follow-up damage of, well, he has the 10. He's really hoping his opponent can't pop Ice Block, because if he does, he wins straight up with the Pyroblast, Fireball, Ice, and the Frostbolt. But if he can pop it, and he's not able to piece together the 16, maybe even 17 damage he needs, then RDU might just straight up win the game too.
Yeah, it
And
doesn't.
I don't
have
think
the
he has
second
enough here,
slot.
because he uses Savage Roar earlier.
Yeah, you're right.
Imagine if that was Savage Roar. If he instead of
Oh, you're
being able
right.
to
You're
use
absolutely
that.
right. That would have popped it.
And I
For
think
sure.
okay. He's gonna heal from the 5.
Ice Lance.
That Ice Lance is a big pickup too,
Yeah,
because I think that
6,
5 health heal
3.
is gonna try to put him out of range, and then from here, Tides is going to try to just kill him out.
Wait. Let's see.
I
Oh,
think
he's just gonna
Pyro
go
is
Power
the better
Blast.
thing.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
just
So
going
if you
Power
pick up
Blast.
second Ice Lance, then you can't recover
Yeah,
from it.
that's
normally.
right. That's right. Because he's got 13. Yeah, he's got 13.
Yes.
The combo actually even more 14 with the hero power too. So yep, he's looking really good here.
Yep. And he's going to heal back up to 13. And let's see, 6 plus the thing. Yep, that's
Still gonna be enough.
exactly enough. Plus the hero power, so he has a little bit extra insurance.
Yep, and that's the classic freeze mage battle right here.
There we go.
Yeah.
And picks up a fireball for extra insurance. Why not? Tides, he's played his turns masterly through the mid game. RDU was not. Oh,
Whoa. he almost
Oh,
he
man,
almost
that
lanced
lag-
himself there, man.
that
That's
lagged
scary.
at a very awkward time where I thought he was going to ice lance himself. Yeah.
I've done that accidentally on the iPad before.
Oh, Jim, we all have.
Yeah.
2-0 right off the bat. This is a situation where RDU is on the other side. Freeze Mage kind of being tossed out here. It can win against anything, especially against Miracle Rogue, but to take a game off of Druid, which is really important again for RDU, that was one of his comeback decks. What is he stuck playing now? Is RDU playing like Handlock? Because that's another matchup where it could be really tough if you don't get anything done. No, it looks like it's a Shaman instead.
He's going with the Shaman. Yeah, RDU, I feel like in the past events, really used the Rogue and the Druid as his anchor decks. So having to lose those off the first 2 matches is kind of might be brutal for him here. But he's going to go with the Shaman
It's
and
a Bursty Shaman.
Bursty Shaman with a Lava Burst there, and he's going to need that against this mage here. Building the board's not going to work as well when you've got Flame Strikes and Blizzards and even possible
Sure.
things like that.
Exactly. The usual way that you stall with Shaman is things like Feral Spirits, Taunt Totems, but that's not what Freeze Mage concerns itself with at all. In fact, I think the raw burn damage alone usually totals like 32 or something around that area. And assuming you can play all those damage spells straight to the face, Shaman doesn't have a way to heal like you always say, Chan Man. That can be really bad news.
Yeah, you don't have to wait for Alex. I mean, that's a good point there, Frodan. And okay, so he does have a Frost Nova Doomsayer kind of combo to clear things out. Does have a Frostbolt Ice Lance type of combo with the Thalnos. That's potential damage later on, like optimal damage later on. But looking at RDU's hand, he doesn't have anything to really play right now. He's going to be toteming for a little bit here unless he draws some stuff.
Yeah, kind of unfortunate that Tides didn't have a 3 mana card like the Arcane Intellect or his Acolyte of Pain.
True.
But he also got a lot of abundance out in the previous 2 games right off the bat, so I don't think he should be complaining too much about that kind of
I don't
RNG.
think
He's
so.
he's had 2 really good starts in the previous games.
He might just throw the he might just use the Blood Mage as a cycle instead, instead of completely optimizing the spell damage. Just because, like you said, he doesn't have those cards right now, and it's so important to be digging for all your damage. There's 2 fireballs to get. There's another ice frostbolt and ice lance and a pyroblast to
Yep,
get. So
that is
yeah,
true.
that's
That
what
is
he's gonna
true.
do. Yep.
And any damage he can sneak in with this Loot Hoarder is excellent.
Yeah,
Again, it
bonus.
just the Loot
Yeah.
Hoarder's primary thing is to cycle and draw. He just hopes it doesn't get Earth Shock. But if he Earth Shocks it, then he won't have it from Doomsayer. So he can, empower that. He might have to Hex the Doomsayer, which is again one less response to maybe something like the Antonidas or the Alexstrasza. Those kinds of things kind of compound over time.
All right. There's an ice block. Doesn't have much of a turn otherwise. Either you just ping and try to get some damage in there, or you just take this turn in ice block here.
Yeah, it's a pretty awkward turn. Normally,
Yeah.
you like to play
I think you
something, but
I
I
think you
mean,
ping. I think you ping here. Just like you said, any additional damage to the spells that you have is really good.
there is
Oh, I was
merit
gonna
to
show.
while you have the mana to
Mhm.
also play Ice Block, but at the same time, I think you can fit it in the following turn as well as
Yeah.
use your hero power. You want to just use your hero power as effectively as possible, because over time, there is a likelihood of using the hero power enough to equal like an Avenging Wrath of some sort,
Right.
where you kind of like spread out 8 damage over the course of the game through other kind of targets.
Okay, so Tides decides to mitigate some damage, removes the
Ooh.
Harvest Golem, and throws down the Doomsayer. Okay. Oh, what a draw! The Earth Shock. He had a Hex too,
Yeah,
but
the Hex,
Earth
so
Shock's
it
even
was
better.
okay.
Yeah. Earth Shock's
Tides
even better.
needs more than what he has. He doesn't have the draws. In fact, these really crucial early turns where he should have gotten the draws, he hasn't. And RDU is sitting pretty good right now.
Yep, already he's not only does he not getting the draws, he doesn't have any of the clears or the yeah, he doesn't have damage or the clears or enough damage yet. So he does draw an Arcane Intellect, does good timing on that, gets the Blizzard, so that's gonna help quite a bit. Loot
That
Hoarder too, gonna
is.
be cool.
And he's just going to try to stall for as much time as possible, buy
Yep.
as much health. It's nice when you can play mirror images to absorb more than their health's worth. Taking 4 damage instead of the 2 is excellent. So RDU is going to be pretty annoyed. But now he can start putting out big minions as well, like his fire elementals, and start trying to pressure and put it slightly out of range within Flame Strike. Also can also use his Flame Tongue to kind of push through the mirror images and also start attacking the face.
Right. And
That
this
is
is just
great.
brutal, man. Just delaying this damage is just so hard. It's just so tough for RDU right now. Oh, and he's a Pyroblast, and he's getting closer because
Wait,
he's
hold
got
on.
two Frostbolts and an Ice Lance. So that's 10.
Right.
Fireball is 16, and then Pyroblast is 26. So he's getting really close here.
Sure. Yeah. Over the course of a few turns, he might be able to just straight up burn him to death. The fact that he hasn't been able to get like the free stall cards might not even matter. It's similar to like the Miracle Rogue, where sometimes
Mhm.
you don't need to draw into your answers if you just have the answers to kill the game or to end the game by killing
Yeah.
him.
If he does 2 damage here, well, actually, it depends if he can pop. If RDU can pop the bubble next turn, then
He most
half.
certainly will if the state of the board doesn't change.
Mm,
Nice. The
yeah.
Flame Strike is also really big, so that way he can follow it up the following turn. RDU must be really annoyed, but at the same time, this is exactly what happens. You kind of like flood it back, maybe play something else, but almost anything that he plays off the top will die, certainly to Flame Strike. So
Yep.
he's going to play this Drake, see what he gets. He gets a
Just need two
second Drake.
damage. Just need to
Oh,
get.
man. This Flame Strike
Oh,
is
this is
going to
huge.
hurt so bad, Jan, man.
Oh, and that's rough right there. And do you
Oh.
get a ping in there, or do you get a frostbolt? Let's see. Yeah, I think he's just gonna ping because he still needs 2 damage, given the. Oh no, he's going with
I
the.
like this
Yeah, Doomsayer.
Doomsayer
I like
play.
the Doomsayer. I like that. Yeah. That's
there
pretty.
is merit to pinging though, because over the course of turns, you need to start doing a little bit more damage other than what you have in your hand. Because, like you said, you have 26.
Yeah. And he doesn't have the
But
second ice. Yeah, if he had the second ice block, this game would be pretty much done. So he doesn't have the second ice block. So this is going to be tense here for Tides. Oh, we got the mirror image.
mirror
That
image, but
helps.
he also has the frost bolts.
Yeah. Oh,
All right, he's gonna get the most expensive one out of the way, just kind of move past it. And if he picks up Alexstrasza, things get dicey. He can use mirror image plus Alexstrasza on himself. RDU needs to find a way to burst. He has something like
yeah.
rock
Has to.
biters. He needs a lot
Too-
of burst.
Oh, he's too
No, he
short.
doesn't get
Too
it.
short
That's
from popping, and this is
oh my goodness. That is devastating. The fact that you were really close. You needed like a lightning bolt, rock biter, something, so that way
still
you
not
can burst.
quite over yet. Let's see. He still only has vaporize. That's not what Tides wants there too. All right, so he can
Yes.
get his fireball, ice bolt, double frost bolt, ice lance here, or actually, I think he's going to want to ping
Yes, he's gonna want to
crossbow,
ping according
crossbow
to the
ping.
damage
Yeah, and
calculation.
that'll be enough to finish him next turn.
Exactly. And for good measure, play the mirror image. Exactly.
Yep, absolutely.
Make him have the pop, even though he does. RDU does have the pop. Okay, yeah.
Oh, just might as well just,
Just why not?
hey.
He has the mana. Unless he's running two Pyroblast, I wouldn't see that making the big difference.
Yeah, and that's the power of this freeze mage. A freeze mage, it can stall you, but not only that, the flame strikes or in the blizzard setup for the flame strikes can clear boards, and especially these shaman ones. The shaman minions are totally susceptible to flame strike.
Oh, and if you're RDU, you're just so frustrated because again, that previous turn, that rock biter came one draw too late.
That's right.
And
That's
now Tides has gone up 3-0 this quickly with the freeze mage,
no,
systematically.
man,
Dissecting his opponent
so
from the mid game,
fast.
being able to control the board, getting those big draws like Blizzard and Flame Strike back to back is devastating to the Shaman, especially since they were not able to build anything back to end the game. I'm actually kind of a loss for words. I didn't expect RDU to get floored like this at the beginning of the series.
Yeah, I am too. It's like 3-0 the mage. Mage doing some work, and we're gonna see what the fourth deck is. It looks like it's gonna be a warlock. Is it a handlock or is it a zoo lock?
I'm pretty
Okay,
sure
it's
it's
a handlock.
Handlock because we saw it
Okay,
in the previous series versus Dark Wanix.
all right.
Yeah, there we go. It's so again, the irony is pretty palpable between, RDU being in the finals and
That's
Freeze
right.
Mage kind of almost threatening to sweep. Last time he was playing Freeze Mage, he also was basically sweeping the finals. And Tides, he has to be feeling on top of the world right now. He's up 3-0. Everything he's done has been to set up for the Freeze Mage to be in a good position. And now it's all of a sudden
He's
threatening
got
to win the entire series.
It's got a lot of interesting pieces already. It's got the stalling ability later, flame strike. Even if you've softened up the board, some of these giants maybe can clear it later. Also got some card drawing ability with the loot hoarder and the acolyte, both acolytes now. So uh,
Oh,
he's
rough draw for RDU. He doesn't have a
yeah,
four cost
he doesn't have
minion.
anything yet. He's gonna have to draw some or drop some earthen rings and maybe even a ancient watcher here. Oh,
Oh,
there
he
you
picks
go.
up the mountain giant.
So the Mount
Okay,
Jet,
there
the
we
right
go.
time.
He's in business. He is in
Oh,
business. Wait,
vaporize,
wait, 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 wait. Does the
vaporize.
vaporize come out here, champion?
Oh, oh no.
But
This is
then
brutal.
if RDU senses it, then he
Do you,
also might just skip and kill the acolyte and then move on.
oh, I think maybe do you coin and fireball the
Okay,
outline? I guess not. It'd be nice to get all the draws, right?
sure, sure. I think he also that faceless. Okay, so the faceless
Okay.
does end up redeeming it, but man, that value vaporized. It
Huge
gives him.
value.
It was basically a nice barrier.
Okay, so we got Doomsayer here. Doomsayer could absorb, say, or actually he has an owl, so that's not going to actually function
hmm
optimally there.
In a lot of ways, again, Handlock's one of those matchups. You don't necessarily have to use Alex Straza offensively. Handlock is going to be floating within that range where you can burst them. But conversely, they can heal up. They save cards like the Earthen Rings, like the Siphon Souls for situations where they need healing in a pinch. And that's
Right.
where Thanos actually comes in because Thanos allows you to drop Thanos with the Fireball, the Frostbolt's Ice Lance, and reach for, I believe, up to 21 damage, in
Yep.
which case you need that reach a little bit.
All right, so he freezes it. Oh, he has an Ice Berry in this. Oh, that's right. This is a straight up freeze mage, so he's going to be able to mitigate at least the next swing by the Giants. He's not drawing any additional cards though. That's what's kind of rough about it. Just
Hmm.
doing one damage at a time here. But he's coming into his freezes though. He's going to be able to Blizzard here. Oh my gosh!
Yep.
Wow. Okay.
Second Faceless comes out. Why not? You're not trying to burst him down with a Leroy combo, especially with Leroy without in his hand. And now the Ice Barrier once again. This is like Vaporize number two, or not Vaporize, but Ice Barrier number two coming out essentially what that Vaporize did. And now Tides will start stalling for as long as he can. Second Blizzard, big pickups.
Yep, and he's going to go ahead and get an extra damage from the Thalamus, and yeah, it's going to be perfect, like you said. Soften these guys up, draw 2 cards, and
Now, what's interesting, Champion, is that Owl might actually come out to
undo one of them. Yeah.
unfreeze and then be able to start whacking again. And I wouldn't be surprised or mad if RDU chose to do that because he
If he
needs
does,
to kind of rush him down as soon as he can.
if he does that, then the Doomsayer might actually have a role in this. You know, when he starts
That
drawing
is
some more of the
true.
Frost Nova.
That is
So
true.
yeah, that's going to be great for definitely great for RDU. But oh my God, another giant! Oh wow, here we go.
Oof.
It's the Mountain
And
Giant Army.
huh. For
Okay.
Tides, you really hope that he doesn't have things like Leroy and Powerwhelming and Soulfire at the moment, because then you could just straight up die.
That's
And
right.
that might provoke him to play Mirror Image right after this. Or even a Doomsayer.
Well, I think
Yeah.
you play Doomsayer here. Yeah, it's either you Doomsayer or you ping that other giant there.
Oh, I think the alternative plays, if you feel like he might rush you with a Leroy
Oh,
Soulfire
okay,
win or something
sure.
like that, you play
I'm talking
Mirror
about the Leroy.
Images.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Yeah,
The mirror
yeah.
image.
If he feels threatened enough.
That's the wait. That last Mountain Giant was actually a straight Mountain Giant, right? Not a faceless. Yeah, that was a Mountain
Yes.
Giant.
So he's
Okay.
played 4 Mountain Giants in the course
Right.
of this entire game.
Okay. So,
Ooh, Ice Block.
ooh, I think you, man, I
Might have
think
to
you
use some
feel
of his
really
super.
inclined to use an ice block right now, but he's gonna go ahead and try to clear here. Probably just remove this altogether, not just freeze.
Might have to use some of his burn. He does.
Hmm.
Frostbolt. But he picks up Ice Block, which is a very important card. Again, just so that way he can set up a guaranteed lethal. This is Rardy's lifeline. He wants to find a way to,
All right, he's
kill
got
his
some
opponent.
heals. There you go.
Yeah, the heals coming out before Alexstrasza usually is kind of if do you feel like you really want to use your ability to put yourself out of range right now, but with his opponent so low, that might be a viable option at the moment.
Okay, he's going. Okay, he's going to go with Alex. Going to go try to go. Well, he doesn't have the win quite yet, so I would actually think about taking this turn to ice block and maybe draw. Let's see.
The problem with ice blocking now is if he feels like he's gonna die, or sorry, it would pop and then he would die the following turn without it.
The problem is if he plays Alex, he doesn't even have a setup to win yet next turn. Okay, so he's got the other ice block.
Ah,
This is good.
well,
So this is good for him.
double
He-
arcane intellect. It's rare that you get an opportunity to do this.
yeah. Ooh, now he's got some choices whether he wants. Okay, so he's just going to go ahead and ice block like his original
No,
plan and then mirror image. I like that play.
that's
I
great.
think that's really good.
Hellfire actually kills everything. He has to have Shadow Flame number 2, or he has to just chew through and show the Leroy once again. And alternatively, that might encourage RDU to Hellfire. Oh, he draws a Leroy.
Oh
Does he
boy,
have
here
the
we
lethal?
go. Doesn't have a faceless though.
Or, not sorry, not the lethal, but the lethal to pop.
Yep.
I wanted to say yes.
Oh,
I
there's-
wanted to say yes, but I'm not sure. Because what happens is I was going to suggest maybe even using Defender of Argus to put itself outside of Hellfire range to pop. But I don't think that's going to be the case. And with the Ice Block Firmly set and Ice Block number 2 set, you can drop the Archmage plus the Ice Block number 2 if you can't burn through it, and then just end the game. We're looking at potentially the last couple turns here, Champion.
Yeah, we are, and this is getting exciting here. Let's see what Tides ends up drawing here. Or actually, RDU. Let's see what he gets here. He gets a Ancient Watcher.
Ancient
That's not going to
Watcher.
do much for him.
He might feel like he has to Siphon Soul as Alex,
Wow.
but does that compromise his ability to finish the game? Well, Wait, he can pop
Oh,
still, though. He can pop still, I
he
believe.
can, let's see, one.
Yeah. If he
Yeah,
just Leroy,
yes, he can still. Yeah, he can still pop with Leroy. You're right.
he can pop. He plays Leroy,
Yeah.
hits for the 14, siphon souls, the Alex Straza,
Gotta get it down
or
under
even, or
three. There it
even,
goes. Three.
or even the Farseer, and then BGH. No, he can't BGH. And the Farseer.
Oh, this is huge.
Siphon Soul
If he
does
gets up
both.
at the 18, this is huge because it doesn't
Yeah.
Tides doesn't have a draw right here to get him, to do 18 damage. He doesn't
Well,
have.
he needs a Frostbolt. Actually, did use the
Yeah,
Frostbolt.
he
Second
needs a
Ice Lance.
Frostbolt and a like.
Second
Oh,
Ice Lance
he
is
needs the
big.
Frostbolt though.
He can Ice Lance after each other, though. That's the most
Yeah,
important
but
thing. The Ice
that's
Block comes out, the Fireball, and then the Ice Lance, and then he can Pyro Blast the
I think
following
he.
turn.
Yeah, he can power best. That's true. He can.
Oh,
So he
wait,
can set
you're
up the.
right, though. You're
Yeah,
right in the
this
sense
is.
that, oh my goodness, Tides might actually fall short by one
Yeah, he's gonna fall
damage.
short by one. That's the problem because he's just gonna heal up three and go back up to 11 here.
That is
Ah,
crazy. Because Tides, he's really hoping his opponent didn't have the Farseers, and that's where the Farseers really do come
yeah,
in.
that's what's rough.
And in a weird way, RDU almost threw it for himself if he filled the board too much and wasn't able to heal it. But
oh, that's a
Tides,
good point too. That would have been.
yeah.
Oh, that would
What
have
does
been
he have?
tragic. Oh, with
Second
fireball. Oh
Fireball.
man.
He's really hoping that. Wait. Is he able to drain himself so that he suicides if he Hellfires?
Oh
No, he's one damage short
no,
on that
he's one
too.
damage short.
Oh my goodness! If he was able to send the three
Wow,
health, they would have both
that's
effectively
true.
tie and then reset the game by
What
the
man? What
skin
a
of his
finish to
teeth.
this game. What a finish, man.
RDU takes this game. Nope, he had Soulfire. Just kidding, off the top. But
Just
why not
just
do it
kidding.
just to toy with your opponent a little bit?
The
What a
what
game!
there? Yeah, going down to one there. RDU gets on the board in this grand finals of the Well Played Cup. Man, exciting finish there, man. Tides just needed just to have one extra damage, whether it was in the form of a frostbolt or anything actually. Extra ping there somewhere. Would have been amazing. But really close. The mage had a nice run there, getting him 3 wins. And he's going to go with the shaman now against the handlock. Good matchup here. Shaman's got a lot of tools to really deal with the giants, deal with the Twilight Drakes.
Hmm. You want the hexes, the earth shocks. That's usually just the nightmare of what Handlock can do. RDU again. He's done a really good job being able to pull himself through and getting that ice block pop was massive off that
Yeah.
Leroy. And now RDU realizes, man, I really need that 4 mana cost drop. He's going to coin life tap, which is okay to do in this matchup.
All right, both players off to a pretty slow start here, except for the mana tide tome, like you were saying. That could be amazing. Could be amazing again for Tides. I think the mana tide tome drew him 4 last game. That was pretty sick. No owl in RDU's hand right now, so he might have to consider soul firing this.
If he draws into like a mountain giant right now, he might just pass and just cut his losses in that respect.
Okay, so he draws a Mortal Coil. It's not going to help him much.
Yeah, well now I think actually now that he is on the second turn, he actually can still fire and tap, and
Yep.
then still actually hit that Fort Mountain Giant. So you're right in that respect.
All right, so lots of Siphon Soul.
Still no 4 mana cost creature, while Tides just kind of rolls on. That mana Tide 3 for 1, essentially. It paid
Yeah.
for itself, and then Soulfire discarded a card.
He does have a Shadow Flame, which can help if Tides gets a little too strong on the board with just your typical Shaman fashion. Tides has a lot of mid-range units though. He's got a lot of Azure Drakes, Argent Commanders, Fire Elementals. This could this could be
He's
tough.
just stacking his hand.
Yeah,
The,
it could be
the,
tough
the,
for
the
RD to
turns
clear.
kind of play themselves. And one thing that's scary is that the life taps plus the early pressure has lowered RDU to 19 health, but this game can kind of keep fluctuating between how things go. But he's still going to be looking to keep building the board. Ties can just go back at it turn 6, drop
Yeah,
something big, Fire Elemental or Argent Commander here.
yeah, and RDU dropped a Siphon Soul, so he just drew one, which will help with this Fire Elemental, but he's not gonna have anything else to deal with the rest of it. no shadow. He just used a shadow flame. There's no other kind of board clearing opportunities, so he's gonna have to get these Moltens out and taunt him up, and hope that Tides doesn't have any hexes,
You
which
know,
he does.
he hovered over the Molten just for a second, but
Yeah.
he realizes there is a way I can just die straight up if he has Doom Hammer and like a Rock Biter, and that's not the way you want to end this tournament after working really hard to go through the winners bracket through hell and fire, and now you don't want to throw it away.
Okay, so he's got some choices. He's got that great Unbound Elemental Feral Spirit combo, which is what you really like when you can upgrade the Unbound there. But it looks like he's going to go more with the Violet Teacher, kind of fill the board even more, get 4 guys on the board here, and see if he can get back into this.
Yep, Second Siphon Soul has been used as well, and I think Tide says I actually don't have a good response to
Yeah.
Giants at the moment, and so I don't want to give him the ability to play a Giant really easily. Therefore, just kind of play it more
All
passive,
right, that's
board
good.
control oriented.
All right, nice. This is going to
Oh
work out
man,
quite well for.
that's another shock. Okay.
Oh, he didn't. Oh, I thought he was going to.
I'm
Oh, no,
saying
no,
if
no.
he top decks Earth Shock, that'd be
Yeah,
devastating. And
that would be devastating.
how do you come back, you know? Is Tide just gonna YOLO this
I think
and
so.
attack straight up? He has the Flame Tongue. He hopes his opponent will not be able to Shadow Flame because I think he would have realized it would have done it. He might just hold off
Oh
here.
my gosh, he should hold off. If he goes all the way, then we're looking at 3 enormous taunts on the board with the face like with the
Yeah.
Moltens and the faceless
Oh yeah.
and I think that's a loss for Tides if he does that. So this is a huge decision right now. Okay,
And why
besides
and
that's the
well
correct.
timed too, because he also has Alakir as well. Actually, no, he doesn't have enough mana to do anything with the Flame Tongue Totem. So, he has a lot of disposal to potentially end the game. RDU has to play this turn extremely carefully.
All right, so no cute stuff with the taunts. You gotta just taunt the biggest minions here and hope that Tides
Double
can't
Flame
get through this.
Tongues.
Oh my
Double
gosh.
Flame Tongues. That is crazy.
Is that?
You can use the
Oh my
Argent
gosh,
Commander
but the Arch
bubble,
Commander removes
pop
one of them.
it.
Holy smokes. That's really good for him.
You can use the Lightning Bolt and then kill the Drake. One Molten Giant has come through, which makes you kind of think that you can push for damage and he wouldn't be able to have the second Giant. And by that logic, you might as well just throw the Unbound and get a 3/5 out there.
Yeah, I think he is okay. We gotta start off with the Flame Tongues. That's just too cost effective here.
Let's see what he chooses to do. He does have a lot of mana at his disposal. If you choose to go for a more passive route, he can kind of leave minions on the board. But the problem with leaving minions on the board every single time is Shadow Flame for the hand lock. And if they Shadow Flame off of a really clean target like the Ancient Watcher, then all of a sudden you're kind of defenseless if they do something like a Molten Giant Shadow Flame on the Ancient Watcher and you die.
No, that's a good point. Gotta
So
get
Azure
as
Drake
much of
might be
this.
the alternative to kind of set up a potential
Yeah,
follow-up.
that's a good point. I think I like that actually. Now that you mention it. Okay, he's gonna go with the Fire Elemental.
Yeah, use the
All right,
trade on the Violet
that's good.
Teacher.
Yeah, and both of them gonna trade here.
Okay.
All right, nice,
So
very
a pretty
nice.
clean way. It's not overcommitting too much with Flame Tongues, which are just weak. He also gets a really important minion on the board that has 5 health just outside the range. So Tides essentially does an alternative route to what we suggested, except this time he's picked up a better way to be resilient against Shadow Flame, which could be his ticket to win the game.
Okay, whoa, that's good. So RDU draws a taunt.
You get
He ended up
Soulfire off the
tapping.
top.
Yeah, and
Soulfire, but no AoE.
oh my,
Oh, he
what?
discards the
What?
Molten Giant.
What?
Oh
What?
man, he went to go for it because he wanted to kill off with BGH,
I
but
know, but
that
did you play the?
stings.
Why didn't you play the Molten Giant first, though? Oh, he didn't want to play the
That
Molten Giant at all.
stings.
Oh my gosh,
It's the fact that
that's
you lost it though. It's not that you
oh,
care about it at the moment. It's the fact that that information
man.
basically gives Tides free reign to just go in as hard as he wants
Yeah,
to.
exactly. Now, oh my goodness, use a ton and loses a huge target, and he's left with, it doesn't matter what his health is at this point, right? He's only left with Mountain Giants. So,
Precisely.
yeah, this is going to be rough for RD. I don't even know how he pulls this off. If he draws a Leroy, I mean, Tides is still sitting at 30 health.
Exactly.
Alkir
Um,
sitting his hand. He's going to finish with Alkir between two flame tongue totems again.
he needs something big. He needs AoE clear. He needs AoE clear and he needs defenses. That's the two top priorities. RDU even had two BGHs in his deck. That's something we didn't even notice at the moment, but that is also something that's sitting dead in his hand at the moment. My
I'm just
goodness,
there
and
for a
we
mirror.
could be staring at the final game because this Alec here has the mana to come down. That is 10 damage plus whatever is available left.
Mm-hmm. All right, he's going
RDU
to
has
taunt
to
these two
taunt
guys.
though.
He's going to
Has
taunt
to
these
taunt.
guys, two guys up.
Yes. But you just trade. Is that enough to actually end it? Well, he's actually contemplating whether or not he.
Oh,
Wait.
what?
What? Wait, whoa, whoa. Oh my goodness. RDU actually forewent everything, played his BGH, and
Wow.
now Tides
Okay.
is the Well Played Cup champion because he does have this
Yeah.
allocation.
Oh, between the flames. Why didn't you play between the flames, Tides?
One is silence. It doesn't really matter, Jim.
Yeah, I know.
The
Okay.
one is
Okay.
silence.
True,
But
true.
at the same time, I understand what you're saying. It doesn't matter. RDU has been dethroned as a champion for the moment. He's gotten to another finals. Congratulations for a well-played tournament to Tides of Time as he takes the series 4-1 and earns $1,500. A lot of people were questioning Tides after his DreamHack performance, saying, he placed last here. He kind of lost early. And what a way to bounce back through the losers bracket to
Yeah.
win the entire tournament.
Yeah, absolutely. A little rocky start in the beginning for Tides, but he focused, like, kind of got his focus back and really ended up taking the rest of this tournament. Excellent matches, man. These games today were really exciting. Lots of crazy combos at the end, whether it was from druids or rogues, and even sometimes from handlock. So good stuff. Seeing that mage too do well. It's the first time we saw the mage all tournament. So cool finals. Definitely cool finals.
Yeah, the freeze mage once again should not be underestimated. There's a lot of people out there who kind of say